as a family.
Mm.
Like I feel like I got short arms. Like you know, like when you're
Mm-hmm.
fighting in a dream, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
you just can't really nail it the way you need to. It's like I'm trying to fight, I'm really trying to do this, but it's just and that's
Mm-hmm.
how it feels with my family. I feel like I tried so hard just to go nowhere. Like
Yep.
just running so fast didn't get nowhere. And it's like, you know why? Because I don't have the authority to do what I'm trying to do, and I wish I don't understand why.
Yeah.
I don't understand why God made it that way. Like you see, my heart is to change things. So why won't you let me change things?
Mm.
That doesn't even make sense to me. Like if not me, then who? Ain't nobody else give a fuck about this shit. You see, I'm on it. I see everything.
That part.
So why won't you let me change it? And I don't understand why God won't allow me to change it. So I just gotta just let go of it, really. Because if I don't, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
I feel that. First of all, that's already mad deep, and we ain't even get like. I'm just like, I don't know. Hopefully, y'all don't cry. I was like, yo, if Wolf make me cry,
No, no, no,
I
no.
will be I will be mad at you.
That's not the goal. The goal is to not make you cry, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's always good vibrations though. I'm doing a little BTS. So
Oh, please, yeah, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Do all the things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me know if I need to do anything to participate. I'm new to this shit, so I'm like,
Yeah. Nah, you could chill. Or you can look at the camera.
oh, this camera.
Yep.
Oh, man.
No, but I'm excited.
Me too.
I've been ready for this. But I feel like this is just gonna be like a combo because we chopped it up. We chopped it on
All the
numerous
time, yeah.
occasions. So
All the time.
all right. So are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we here. We
All
here
right.
with
So all right. Look, I'm gonna do the intro because I always got to do the intro.
All right,
That's something
cool.
I'm trying to get out of the intro thing. But I feel like whenever I don't do the intro, something just feels off. So
I feel you.
mhm.
Yeah, I've been trying to come up with a little introduction to it. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't.
Yeah. No, but I feel like the style of your pod is so dope that it's like
Thank you.
everything flows. Whether intro,
Man,
no intro, I'm like, you was made for this for real.
first of all, I appreciate that a lot
Of
because
course.
podcasting it's hard, bro.
Yeah.
It's hard, you know what I mean? So I respect. I thought I understood being on that side of the room,
Yeah.
but you don't really know until you put your hands on it, for real.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that's
So
a fact.
maybe this is the introduction. I don't know.
This is it. Okay. Well, for those of you guys tuning in, welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's another episode of Your Mental Matters with
Mhm.
me, your girl Mo,
Mhm.
and special guest, long overdue
Long overdue,
guest,
for sure.
special guest Wolf.
For sure.
And I guess I'll do my like brief intro to like who you are to me.
Oh shit, for real?
Yes.
Oh, it's gonna be a first. Oh shit.
Yeah, but then of course I want you to introduce yourself, all of the things that you
Okay.
do and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, Wolf is like, at this studio, WTF, that I record at, for
Mhm.
those of y'all who already know. Wolf is like one of my favorite engineers here,
Thank
right?
you.
Like,
Thank
yeah,
you,
I think
for
I've,
real.
I've told you this on numerous occasions, but
Yeah.
yeah, just for the people.
Yeah, so they
Like,
can know.
yeah, I feel like it's always a good episode. Whenever you've been behind the scenes, navigating it, for me and like
Mhm.
whoever my guest is.
Mhm.
And so yeah, like I feel like whenever you wasn't my engineer, I was like, all right, this will be a good one. But when Wolf was here, I'll be like, yeah, it's gonna be a good episode.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's
That's
hard.
how I felt internally. I might not have said it every time,
Yeah.
but that's how I felt. Just
That's
because,
dope.
yeah. But I think it's because of your energy, though.
Thank you.
That's really the difference. I mean, everybody here,
Yeah.
great energy.
Yeah. Not
They
to
do
speak down on their energy.
right.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Mhm.
But I think it's just I'm definitely like an energy person. I think some people maybe just like connect better than others. And so
Mhm.
I feel like, because I try to make it my business to like chop it up with anybody that I'm working with,
Mhm.
like, and so I feel like all of the engineers here are great, have great energy. I could list them all, and
Yeah.
they know it's love.
Yeah,
But
for
I
sure.
I just feel like from day one, and you might have been one of the first engineers that I've had, like my first episode, it probably was you.
Mm.
So that's maybe what it was too. Like my initial time coming here,
Mhm.
I was just met with like great
Yeah.
energy, and
Yeah.
I
That's
can't forget
good.
that. You get what
That's
I'm
good.
saying?
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear
So
that. Thank you.
no, of course. And so like now, like things are a little different now because Wolf is, of course, you still behind the scenes, at times, but you also have, your own pod,
Mhm.
um,
Yep, as of recently.
halfway up,
Mhm.
right? And
Halfway up.
so, of course, I want you to talk about that, soon. But I think for you now being like in front of the camera, which I
Hmm.
think is like I was just telling you like you were made to kind of, be in the seat,
Thank
be
you.
a potter, I think. So,
Thank you.
I'm like,
I like the way that sound. I ain't gonna lie. I do. I like the way
yeah,
it
you be
sound.
potting. Like you be potting for real. Like, and it comes naturally as opposed to like some people. I feel like I was one of those people where in the beginning I was like, this is not it. This I'm like
Yeah. I
not
still feel
feeling
like
it.
I don't think it comes natural. Not to me. Like,
Right. But we're
yeah.
always our harshest critic, right?
Nah, but I be there though. So like I'm
Yeah.
talking by myself a lot of the time, and
Yeah.
when I edit everything together, it
Mhm.
comes together like one conversation.
Yeah.
But really, it'd be a lot of like, does this even make sense?
Right.
Stuttering, repeating shit.
Mhm.
What the fuck am I saying? So it's a lot of times I got ready to record and I just this ain't the day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it don't come natural to me for real. It's hard.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
do try my best at it though. So it feels good to be like acknowledged
Yeah.
because you're looking at it like I like it though. It's dope. So that
Mm-hmm.
feels great to be affirmed in that way.
Absolutely. No, of course. And I think that's a very human experience though. Like for anybody who's like a creative, who's like involved in like anything like artistic or media related, I think it's a human experience to just sometimes feel off and feel like this ain't it, right?
For
And then
sure.
but then you take your break, your moment, and then you go come back, right? And
Hmm.
then it's a success. So I think like, yeah, you definitely deserve all of your flowers for what
Thank
you've been
you.
putting out because you've been putting out some really like inspirational,
Thank you.
like good, wholesome content that people could really like chew on. I think one of my guests that I had
Hmm.
on, I think she started following you after we
Hmm.
came in and recorded here. And she even like just unprovoked, mad random. Me and her was just chilling one day, had nothing to do with anything podcast related, and was like, "Yo, Wolf," and I was like, "Wolf who?" She's like, "From this dude." I'm like, I don't know that many wolves. I probably
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah, for
one other
sure.
wolf."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Wolf from the studio. He got a podcast. It's dope." And I was like, "I'm definitely gonna tell him next time I see him
That's
because."
fire.
Yeah,
That's fire.
and yeah, similarly, like similar to me, her experience here just as a guest and speaking to you, she felt like you had great energy. So after that, she was like, "What do you like? What does he do?" Like, and I'm like, "Well, he engineers this podcast, right? And he
Hmm.
works here at this, great studio, this
Hmm.
black owned studio.
Hmm. Say
But
that.
yeah, he also, so once she started following you, the rest was history. But I think, yeah, you just need to know in case you don't hear it often,
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
you know?
I need at this point in podcasting, I could use all the encouragement I could get because it's not easy and I never seen myself being a podcaster. Like
Yeah.
I just never seen it for myself. So it's like I don't really have the confidence of like I don't know, I'm still working on the confidence of getting it
Hmm.
together. So you saying that really does help a lot for real. Like it's kind of like it just makes me think that I'm not wasting my time,
Yeah.
and that feels good because I
No.
definitely before podcasting it was just like I definitely didn't know what I was doing, so I was trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
So now having this gives me a sense of purpose, but I want to make sure if I'm doing it the right way.
Yeah.
So thank you, I really appreciate that.
No, of course. You're very welcome. And then for I definitely want you to introduce yourself like more thoroughly, right? And give
Hmm.
like the people like just a little bit about you, who you are, what you do. Um, yeah, let's start there,
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So, first of all, I don't know if you know this, but my real name is Steven. That is the
Yes.
name that my mother gave me. So my
Mm-hmm.
name is Steven, but everybody calls me Wolf. I give people the option to choose, and they still choose Wolf. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the same person. There's really no difference. I'm Wolf. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. I came to New York City about like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I came here thinking that I would have a professional career in music somehow, some way. You know what I mean? That just didn't work out for me for several reasons. One, musicians be broke. And then music just wasn't working out for me because it was like I don't really have no time to record. Niggas got roommates and shit like that. And the only
Mhm.
time while you out here trying to get this money to stay in New York, the only time that you could really record music, because I had a microphone in my crib and shit,
Yeah.
was like first thing in the morning or the last thing at night. But that don't really work when you got three roommates. So niggas is
Mm-hmm.
tired on both time spectrums at that time.
Yep.
So out here in New York City, trying to figure it out. Thank God I transitioned to podcasts. And then from podcasting, I started working at this studio. This is like the super hyperlapse version, but
Yeah.
I started working at the studio, started meeting great people like you, and I really needed that. I needed to find a community of people because it's being lonely in New York City is some dangerous shit.
I agree.
It's some dangerous shit. You know, it's a big city. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're never by yourself,
Hmm.
but you can still feel alone.
For sure.
You know, and so I'm really grateful because podcasting brought me closer to people. And so, in a nutshell, that's just kind of the story. Like, I came to New York City to chase a dream, like most people who not from here do.
Hmm.
And I didn't find what I was looking for, but what I did find um, is better.
Mm.
It's better. It really was, you know. And I think I'm discovering that still, how much
Yeah.
better it is. And now I'm a podcaster. And I'm in here like running my mouth, making people upset. Apparently, you know what I mean.
Listen.
Inspiring some, you know.
Definitely. I think once you start making people upset with your content and what you put out,
Mhm.
you know you're doing something right.
Yeah,
In my opinion, you doing something
I hate how true that is though. But I keep even the conversation I told you that I just had
Yeah.
a couple minutes ago with somebody that was close to me. Like, I just couldn't help but think to myself, like, this must mean you're doing something right, you know?
Listen.
Because when I was trying other shit and putting like all my heart into it,
Yeah.
y'all didn't care.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
didn't care.
Nah, for sure. And I think that's what it is too. Because a lot of times I feel like when you're speaking, right, especially on a podcast, I would hope, because not everybody does. Some people just do it for, clickbait. Some people do put out clickbaity stuff and it's not necessarily from the heart. But I feel
For
like
sure.
inspirational like platforms where you kind of like, you really want to like inspire others and like you're speaking from the heart, that's as real as it gets, right? And
Yeah.
and people feel that. Like, oh, like word?
Yeah.
And then,
You're right.
and it's like, though it's not personal, right? It's not personal to them per se.
Right.
But a lot of times people, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to like, I guess, channel that energy in a positive way.
No, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't. And
Mhm.
just as raw as the conversation is, so is the clapback and they feedback, you know?
Hello?
And they give
Yeah.
it to you straight up like that. And you just
Yeah.
gotta decide. You know, it's like I'm starting to learn that I I I shouldn't be as invested on somebody's response to something that I said. Like you do care because
Yeah.
that's why you do it, right? You do it to
Yeah.
help to hear how people feel.
Mhm.
But when the feedback is negative
Mhm.
or it speaks down of you, of who you are, how you see yourself, it's like you can't put too much stock in that shit. So that's the shit that I'm learning these days.
Yo.
Like, I do it to make a person react, but if they react in a way that might trigger my mental health, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on ice. Like, fuck it. You
That's
know
a
what I mean?
fact.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I feel like that's how I live my life. That's how I stay as stress free as possible. We was just talking about that too. Like, there's a lot of things that like
Hmm.
get thrown in my direction. I think just being the type of person that I am. I think also for some reason I feel like being like a
You mean like being a nice person?
being a nice person. One,
Jesus.
being a nice person, and then I also think like what I do for a living, being a therapist. I feel like for some reason, mad extra stuff outside of work just be coming my way, and it be a lot of times there's good things that come my way, but then there is also a lot of negative and just like left field like stuff that be happening,
Hmm.
and I feel like I'll be able to weave it really good though. Like I don't feel like things really penetrate or stick on me long enough,
That's a beautiful gift.
but it took time
God bless you.
it took time to get there though. I'm
Can you
not gonna
teach me?
Yes.
Teach me. I
Yeah.
need some lessons.
No, absolutely. It took time. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it happened overnight. I just noticed the transition and the change in myself over the past like few years where I'm like, oh, like the same way I used to react when I was younger, like college years. And
Yeah.
no, I'm a different person. I be even keel.
Yeah.
People be wilding and I be
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
keel
You don't
because
even match them with that
I'm
energy.
like, no, ma'am, no, sir. Like I just can't. But then I think that also adds kind of like fuel to the fire. The more like you won't penetrate this energy you are, the
The
more
more
you're
they turn up, is that what you saying?
sometimes because
What
it's
be
like
wrong with these people, man? What be wrong with y'all? Nigga want peace. We gonna force violence out of me?
they be fighting their own demons though. I really think people be fighting their own
Oh, they
demons.
do.
Yeah, and
Oh, they do.
a lot of times I think too you can be a mirror for people.
Absolutely.
When you're a mirror for some people not ready to see.
Absolutely. That's all it is at the
Yeah.
end of the day, because I'm not making you do shit. I didn't force you to do nothing. So like what you think you're being objective with me, you think you're
Yeah.
giving your opinion, you just telling me how you feel.
Yeah.
You showing me what's going on in your body. And that's a lot of time my response to people be may peace be upon you. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
you're not at peace right now.
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah.
real disgruntled shit going on right now. You know what I mean? And I want better for you.
No, for real.
Yeah,
Seriously.
seriously.
And I guess that saying "misery loves company" holds
Mm.
true there.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. People want you to feel like how they feel, so
Mm-mm-mm. They do.
that's why I'm
And you got to do the job. Like, all in all, I believe that I know better.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like my awareness as a person, I believe that I know better, but it doesn't mean that I'm above falling short and
of
falling
course.
victim to the games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just got to make sure that I always remember that I'm always in control.
Mhm.
They don't control what goes on over here. So if I'm reading comments or I'm looking at things that somebody said and I start feeling bad, just know like I'm human, but at the same time, it's like you control how you feel. You can control your level of proximity to this shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can set your life up in a way where you can manage this the proper way. You know what I mean? Don't
Yeah.
be losing, don't let your whole day be bad now
Yeah.
because of something that a stranger said, somebody that you don't even respect.
Mhm.
They don't even respect you.
Yeah.
I control that.
Yeah.
If I allow them to get that shit off, I'm not exercising my control anymore.
Mhm.
So that's some important shit that I gotta remember.
That's a good point. And I'm like, there was a couple of things that came up just now when you mentioned that. I was actually thinking
Mhm.
about a recent conversation that I had with someone who brought up. So I guess I'll try to make this. It's gonna be a short
No,
story.
do your
Long
thing.
story
Yeah, we
short,
cooking.
but yeah, like there was a friend of mine who mentioned to me that I guess people that I don't know, right? People that I believe she's friends with or that she affiliates with, I guess kind of put a bug in her ear essentially about the way that something that I did looked, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
do.
and she came back and told me, and I had to say, like, honestly, like my concern about like just the situation that she was presenting to me, it was like my concern is you. Like I don't know these people. So therefore, like how they feel about how I looked to them
Mhm.
doesn't matter to me. So I was a little bit, I think, taken aback that she maybe thought that like I would care
Mhm.
about their feelings and opinions about something. I
Mhm.
think she maybe said that to, I don't know if she said that to try to like prove a point or try
Mhm.
to, explain something, but nah, it kind of just bounced off me. When she said it, I didn't really feel no way about it. I think I was more perplexed or confused. Like,
Yeah, like she brought it to you.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
was that supposed to make me feel something? Because that's why I say like the way that I live my life is the people who are I consider friends or family, those are the people that I care about. Like if as my friend or my family, you come to me and say, "Look, Mo, this is what happened and this made me feel some type of way," or you did this thing and I didn't really like it, I will actually sit down and take it into consideration for a
Yeah.
few.
I feel the same
You
way.
you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
For a few,
Mhm.
right?
Not a lot of people.
Not a lot of people. And so if you come to me and tell me a stranger off the street, one of your friends' friends, feel some type of way about something I said or did, beloved, I don't know them. They don't know me.
Yeah.
They don't know me, right? So
Mhm.
that's where I feel like more of the responsibility, if anything, I feel like should be on you to just know my character and
Mhm.
to be able to like, you get what I'm saying? But it was kind of like a little tiff that we had, and that
Mhm.
was why this stuff started coming up. But I think like, yeah, like I'm just not big on like how you feel about me don't really have how somebody else feels about me doesn't have much to do. Like that's none of my business.
Yeah, it's not.
I feel like
It's really
if
not.
you're my friend now, or if you're my family member and you bring something to me, I care because I care about you. So like I'll care about what you say for a little while and see if anything that you said, like kind of like chew the chew the meat, spit out the bones type of
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
I'll take whatever message can come from that, and if there's something that I could change behavior wise to make sure like our dynamic is Gucci moving forward, that's what I care about. But anybody outside of like my people, it's like I can't put too much stock in like what you think about my actions or whatever, because I think I'll lose sleep at night. I
Mhm.
think that's just, and this is like universally though, like on a like general level, I care about human beings. I care about people. But how people perceive me, if it's in a negative way, I can't give it too much time, if that makes sense.
That's a beautiful gift to have, for real.
Yeah.
More people would benefit from like adopting them same traits that you got, because it's very easy when negativity gets brought up about you. It's so easy to fall into that shit,
Yeah.
and it's like why even waste the time? Especially if it's not it's not gonna help you prosper.
Nope.
It's not gonna help you flourish. It's not gonna take you from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Why even give it life? You know what I mean? Why hold on to it if it's not true?
Yeah.
You know? So I agree. I think that's again, that's everything you just explained about how you treat that type of energy is things that I'm learning right now. That's
Yeah.
like that's the most current teaching that I'm underneath right now, and I'm really trying to get that shit down. Because if I'm gonna be doing this, I gotta figure this shit out sooner than later, or else I'm gonna just be a fucking nutcase out here
hmm
for real.
Yeah. And I know you've had a couple of instances I saw on social media that came up where people had left comments.
Oh, they be tearing me up.
I'm like, and how do you like just on a more, I guess, on a just deeper level, how does that affect you like emotionally, mentally? Like I know you say you don't really let it breathe for too long, but I guess the initial feeling, what is it that you feel and like how do you
Bad,
yeah.
bad, for real,
Mhm.
bad. Because when you consider yourself a good man, there's certain things that never get associated with a good man.
Right.
There's certain things that are only reserved for the bad man.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Now, when you start getting messages and you start getting comments of things that a woman is directing toward you that are usually reserved for the bad men, when you
Yeah.
feel like you're a good guy,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Mhm.
It's tough when a woman says that you're the problem,
Mm.
or she says that like you're a misogynist, or like a woman might say, this is why men deserve less, or this is why men need to be dead, or all the type of things that women say. And I'm not saying that they like mean it verbatim, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's still though, it's like it's tough because it's like I'm a man. I love women.
Yeah.
I love women. I grew up in the matriarch,
Yeah.
not the patriarchy. I didn't grow up in a male. I didn't grow up around male energy. I grew up around my grandmother and my mom and all her sisters and my sister. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I could never be. First of all, I could never be out here saying something about women without knowing that I got to report to two women that's like gonna hold me accountable if I was out here
For
not
sure.
acting the right way. But hearing people say certain things is tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. So I took it very hard when I first because the first piece of content that I made speaking about relationships at all, it resonated like very deeply. Like it gained a lot of attraction and
Mhm.
attention. And the bad comments came very soon after. And I wanted to take it down because I went to take it down because I felt bad in my body, in my being physically. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I felt bad because I just didn't like to read those things about what people had to say to me. But
Yeah.
after talking to the people that I trust, the people I can call on, they was like, "You good?" And I was like, "If they say I'm good, I'm valid." Then
Yeah.
yeah. But I took it bad at first.
No, for sure. I think if I'm remembering correctly, I saw the clip
Hmm.
or and um yeah, I tuned into the comments and I was like, yeah, people be tripping.
And let me just say this too. I understand why they got triggered too. Like the
Yeah.
first clip that I posted
Yeah.
was essentially saying why a man would keep a woman in a situationship.
Mm. I
Essentially.
saw that one.
That was the first
I
one.
saw that one.
That was the first one.
That was good. I was like, you gonna rip the people's edges off with this one because it's
The
real.
vert-
Literally, people's edges are gonna fall off because I feel like you were speaking real stuff.
But you know what the mistake that I made in that though? The mistake that I made is I set the table like this is why this happens, but then I went into verbiage as if like me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's where the disconnect happened. Like, now a lot of women, shout out to all the women who got it still. For
Yeah.
real. Like, because without those women, I would have felt like shit.
Yeah.
But the other women was like, they heard the I. Like,
Mm.
this is why I do this. But I was saying it metaphorically to represent why the guy does it.
Got it. I see.
Like the verbiage I used was I, like
Got it.
me. Like, this is why I be having a shorty in a situationship. This is why
Got
I continue to manipulate her. When
Got
really I was just speaking like
Yeah.
from his perspective. I'm a man.
Right.
I got homies. I know what men, I know how they think. I know how they operate. I know why they do the things that they do. And that's where I fucked up. Though.
Yeah.
But that's also part of the reason why I went viral because that fed them like, yeah, like look at like a lot of women shared it just to show other women like, you see, these niggas are trash. You see, look at him admitting to the fucking crime like an idiot.
Yo, you know what?
That's why I went viral for real.
Got you.
Mhm.
Yeah. But at that I get it. I guess I get the whole breakdown that you just gave.
Yeah.
I fully understand. When I watched the clip, I was like, wow, you're speaking facts. Like this is what
Yeah.
people need
It
to hear.
was heavy talk.
I feel like that's what women need. Women need, honestly,
Mhm.
because I feel like, listen, we gonna talk about it. women be living in Delulu
Come
land.
on, man.
They be living in Delulu land.
Come on, man.
I am a woman, okay?
Come on,
And
man.
I try my best not to live in that land,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure I've had my moments,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when you were speaking, I was like, ooh, my edges,
Mhm.
right? I was like, my
The
edges. The edges. And I was like, luckily I don't live there anymore,
Yeah.
right? But at one point, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
1 or 2 times I might have had them
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah, for
And so
sure.
I think that's where I feel like hearing that from a man,
Mm-hmm.
it was somewhat like refreshing. It was hard to hear, I think,
Mm-hmm.
but it was solid. And
It was
me
the-
knowing who you are,
Yes.
I'm like, this is coming from a real, like, he giving game away. Like, what
Yeah,
are you
for
mad
real.
about, sis?
And a lot of again,
Like,
shout out to all the women who got it, because there was like, it was this one woman, she left a comment. She was like you bragging about emotionally manipulating a woman is crazy, right? And there was another woman who responded, and she was like, "Girl, shut up! Like, you should be thankful. Like, he's giving us the game."
right.
Those comments kept me up, bro. They kept me like from feeling bad, because it was true. And some of the women hit me up in my comments. It was like, "Yo, thank you for saying that."
Mm-hmm.
And because it's interesting to me how many women don't know that.
I'm like,
Like, they don't know that.
that's crazy to me that they don't know that.
You know?
I
And
mean, that could be a part of the delusion, though. To stay in
for sure.
to stay in a space where it's like, really?
For
And
sure.
it's like,
For
you
sure.
had to have heard this before, but I think it's easier. The lie is always easier. It's more digestible.
It feels better. You don't
Right.
got to change nothing with a lie.
Yeah.
To change mean work, growing pains. I mean, I got to be uncomfortable again.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually kind of cool with the fact that this nigga gives me consistent dick.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm actually kind of cool with the fact that when I need somebody to talk to, I can talk to him. If I want to go out and if I want to get cute and get pretty,
Yeah.
I got somebody that'll be there with me. I like the way it look. I'm next to him. It's like, you might know instinctively, because you know women, one of y'all greatest gift is instinct. You know what I mean? But you know instinctively there's something wrong.
Yeah.
It's like I can't really get in contact with him certain hours.
Yeah.
Certain things like that. He give me the run around. You heard from him in 2-3 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when we do link up, I do like that.
Yeah.
So I understand why a woman will want to stay sleep, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, if not, sometimes you knew it, but you needed to hear it though.
For sure.
Hearing it is kind of like, all right,
Yeah.
now I can go do what I need to do.
Yeah. You had the megaphone on it.
I had the
You
megaphone on it.
You pulled the megaphone out, and it was like, it was undeniable. I was like, wow, this is fire. I feel like the clip was fire just on a content level,
Mm-hmm.
but I think just on a, like, as far as like media, right?
Yeah.
But I think just the content, the quality of the content and what you were saying was the best part, because it's
Thank you
real.
for saying that, for real.
It was real. And I'm like, go be mad in real life and don't be mad on the internet, because, like, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes, because I'm pretty sure there's been, I wouldn't say that I've had any like major clips go super, super viral like that, but there was a guest that I had on probably like sometime last year,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a large following,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think he posted one of the clips from the episode on his page,
Mm-hmm.
and the comments that was coming in on his page, like, there was some comments coming in about me, because it was a clip with both of us. And I was over here like, them comments started to look a little crazy. It was like 1 or 2 little slick comments that came in, and I was over there like, ooh, these
Yeah, it's a
people.
lie.
Because I think, because in a situation like that, right, I feel like you can, like, just wrestling with whether or not you respond to the people or you just stay quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I chose to stay quiet and not say anything, because I'm like, who are they?
Mm-hmm.
The person didn't even have a picture.
Oh,
Like,
they,
it was just like, who?
oh,
I was just like,
oh,
it's not worth it.
oh, they the worst,
Listen,
for sure.
they go in
They
because
the worst.
you can't find them nowhere, right?
That's because you a fucking loser. That's why.
so that's what I'm like, I could imagine, because just that little bit of heat that I felt from like those 1 or 2 comments that came from somebody else's
Mm-hmm.
post, I felt like I wanted to hide. But then I'm like, no, this is like,
Yeah, stand on that shit.
yeah.
If that's how you feel,
Exactly.
don't let them bully you
Exactly.
because you really feel that way. If you really feel that way,
Yeah.
stand on that shit.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Nothing. You're going
Which-
to keep getting more traction. People going to be like, all right, what's this about? What's all these comments coming in? Like,
What you going to do? Meet me outside my crib?
never.
I'm leaving work, about to go to the car. You out there
Never.
waiting near the car?
Never.
If it ain't like that, then we can continue to get this work in.
For sure. For sure.
Cause we working.
Definitely.
This cool and it's fun,
Yeah.
but this is work.
Yeah. It's work.
It's work.
It's blood, sweat, and tears that go into this time. You know,
Niggas don't know.
they don't. They don't. They just see the end result. It looks great.
Niggas don't know. Even if you don't like it, even if you scroll past and it don't mean nothing to you, just know I had to go through several steps just to get to this point where I could share it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I say I respect this grind
Yeah.
as a person who contributed to it now, because
Yeah.
it was like, man, this ain't for everybody.
It's not.
This ain't for if you continue to do this shit, God bless you for real,
Mhm.
because it's like it costs you something every single time. And even though I haven't been doing it long, there was definitely times where I was just like, am I wasting my time with this shit? Because this shit ain't
Mhm.
resonating for real.
Yeah.
It ain't really hitting for real. Like, I'm happy for the people that do rock with it. I don't want to seem ungrateful.
Of course.
But damn, though, I want my shit to hit.
Yeah.
You know? And my
Yeah.
shit didn't hit till like episode 8. And I had to make y'all mad at first. You know what I mean? I'm like, y'all
Right.
like being inspired? What happened with all that
Yes.
shit?
And that's the part too that's hard because people do like the
I get it now.
they like the
Yeah. I get it now, though.
they sensationalize the things that they would maybe consider like controversial or will ruffle feathers and stuff like that, as opposed to actually just like wholesome,
Yes.
solid content. And not to
Yes.
say, first of all, the content that you was putting out about relationships and stuff like that, that's wholesome. That's wholesome to me.
Thank you.
That's wholesome,
Thank you.
solid.
Thank
Like,
you. Thank you.
You know, so not to even make that differentiation
Yeah.
because it's solid across the board, but what they perceive it to be.
Yeah.
You know, because I think really now when you go on Instagram, social media, TikTok, whatever, these conversations about relationships and situationships and a lot of the jargon and the
Real
language
clickbaity, real surface, real one-dimensional.
right.
It is.
And so it's hard to you got to filter out what's like noise
Yeah.
and like just
I agree.
chaos for what's like actually like
Yeah.
good for you to
Because
like,
I'm really trying to help.
yeah.
A lot of men just want to argue.
Yep.
They just want a punching bag. They want to punch on a woman, metaphorically speaking,
Yeah.
you know, conversationally. I
Mm-hmm.
probably shouldn't have said that. That's a little aggressive, but you get what you get what I mean. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's not my true intention beyond getting people to resonate with it is I just want to have a conversation I think people really need.
Yeah.
You know, like I had my ex from like 7 years ago called me the day before yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
What's
And
the reason?
yo, I'm about to give you the tea. And she was like, I know it's been a minute since I talked to you, but I've been seeing these clips, man. These clips is just everywhere, and I like that you're doing your thing, but I just gotta ask you. She was like, "Are you talking about me?" I was like, "Nah, I'm not talking about you." Now we were together, so I'm a pull from all my life wisdom and shit like that. But no, I'm not talking about you. And she was like, "Okay, cool. Well, fuck, I forgot why I was bringing this up. I forgot why I was bringing it up. But anyway, she called me and she was like, you sound toxic. You know, like you sound like a
What?
completely different person. It's like I don't even
Stop
recognize you anymore.
it.
Yeah, she's like I don't even recognize you anymore. And we went deeper into our relationship, and then she started to see it from my point though, you know, and it was just like your initial reaction to the short form content is like you feel triggered, you feel away, but like once you really get down into it deeply, you realize like all I'm trying to do is help, bro. I just want to help
Yeah.
people. This is not for fun to be the littest guy in town on the internet city and shit like that. Like I genuinely want to help people because I know people don't know. And she called me for that, but then she was like, "Why did we break up?"
What?
She was like, "Why did we break up?" And then I told her, and she needed to hear it.
Okay.
She needed to hear it. You know what I mean? So and it helped her. You know what I mean? It was like it's funny because like I remember why I said this now. I remember why I brought her up. Even though we got through everything, like she said, she thinks I was toxic. And she was like, "Why did you break up with me?" And I just gave her the real truth for everything. She said, "One thing I can say about you is you've always been this person. You've always been somebody who gave like gut-wrenching honesty when it came to relationships." And she was like, till this day, I still tell things to my homegirls to help them in their situation that you told me 7 years ago. 7 years ago.
Love that.
Me too. Because obviously I don't remember, but she does because she got a different context. So, yeah, I only want to help people.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
That's so interesting that you got people coming out the woodworks calling.
For sure. 7 years. 7 years. She's like, "You talking about me?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not. I wouldn't even disrespect nobody that I've been with like that, you know?" But
Listen, you know what? I love that you brought this up because, for one, I think the fact that you were even able to hold that space for her, right?
I did
And
hold that space for her
yeah,
too.
I think that's commendable. That's honorable because I don't know if I would have, right?
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out if an ex called me asking me if I was talking about them on a podcast, I'm trying to think if I was or wasn't. I might have just been like, yeah, I was. What happened? Just to be like, even if I wasn't, like,
Really?
like, no, you see, that's the part of me.
All right. I'm like,
That's
all
that's
right.
me. That's me being a little petty. But it's
It's
like,
not giving therapists. Hold on.
listen, this is the human side of
Yeah,
me
that's the
coming
human
out.
side, and you deserve the right to be that.
Because I'm like, why do you think you could call my phone
Mm-hmm.
and ask me about the content that I'm putting out
Years later.
that you don't put no work in to create?
Yeah.
Listen, because I feel like, and you know what's crazy? This is actually me, kind of like maybe like I've grown, right? Because I remember I was actually in a situation like that where I was on the receiving end. I was in a similar, I guess you could say similar
To her.
Mm-hmm. Right? Where there was a guy that I was we were dating. We weren't like actually boyfriend and girlfriend, but we were dating for some time. It was good. Like it was like when we were dating, it was really good. But then once it ended very quick and like done. Like there's nothing to talk about, right? And so probably, and he was a podcaster. I didn't have a podcast. My podcast was not where like just the growth that it has now was nowhere near. It was like early stages of it, right? So I didn't really understand the ins and outs of podding. And people just talk about life. They talk about their experiences and everything. So we stopped talking, basically kind of going through this like breakup. And this fool at the time, this is how I felt, right? He went on his podcast and talked about me on there, like about our real situation that just happened like last week. So I don't know what made me just tune into his pod that day because I wasn't even listening to his podcast like that.
That's
Something,
that woman's intuition. I'm trying to tell you.
something just told me
That shit different.
Listen, based on how his energy was
That shit different.
towards the end of our time together, I was like, let me tune in and see if he
Just because. Women's intuition, I'm telling you. Niggas try to act like this shit not real. Find
real.
out. Fuck around and find out, though. Find out.
Listen, and sure enough, I went on there and I was like, is he talking about our real life situation that just happened like yesterday? So I'm triggered because it's like, this is in real time. You know what I'm saying? So I literally, I think I told one of my homegirls and she went on their like podcast page and spammed them and was like wilding them up. I didn't tell her to do that, but she based on what I described to her, she took it upon herself to do that in defense of me.
She's like, oh, I got you, queen.
Listen, and I called him, or I don't even know that I called him. I think I just texted him and was like, yo, like, you serious? Like, you bugging. Like, I got very New York on him. Like, on some, like, it'll be a problem out here. So stop playing around. Listen, I'm telling you, it was so serious.
It'll be a problem out here.
It will be an issue. But this is in my younger brain.
Let me find out you got a dark side.
Oh, I do. Listen, my listen, y'all know the vibes. Like, this is not, I mean, I feel like I have it tries to come out. I think depending on how much I feel like you playing around, it could come out. I feel like at the end of the day, and I always say this, I'm from New York at the end of the day. I'm born and raised here. I'm also Caribbean. So it's like, to me, I just feel like there's just certain things, like just don't do it.
Yeah.
Especially if the heart that I have, I wouldn't do that to you. You know, I feel like I use my
Nah, I definitely feel that.
I use my discretion. Like if me and you maybe broke up like 5+ years ago, and I bring up a maybe scenario, and I don't say no names or nothing like that. I bring up a scenario on the pod.
You feel like that's fair?
I feel like that's fair.
Right.
But at the time, I didn't understand that because I wasn't fully in the
Well, you said it had kind of just happened though too, right?
Yeah, at the time it happened literally like he must have recorded it the week, like, because you know, like you put out, usually the content comes out like a week or two later. So this happened, it happened like last week, and then the episode came out the week after. And I was like, why are you talking about this already? Like, you just couldn't wait. Like, I just felt like, to me, I just felt bamboozled. Like, I felt like, was this a plan? Like, I just felt like so, I don't know what the word is, but I just felt like, I don't know. Like, I just felt like there was so much, I don't know. There were so much things that I was carrying. And so I just reached out to him like, yo, like, I was going off in text messages. I got very New York on him. And he was like, can we have a phone call? And I was like, sure. We get on the phone. I'm walling him up on the phone. Like, I'm just going in. And he's like, Mo, like, what? Like, he's really trying to like talk sense into me, I guess, and be like, nothing was malicious. Like, I'm like, how isn't it malicious when we just literally dealt with all of this? Like, you get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You're putting my business. I felt like my
Did he
business
say
was
your name?
no. He didn't say my name, but the person that he was doing the episode with also knows me.
Got you.
So, and that was like his close friend.
Got
So I
you.
feel like they all knew who was being spoken about, but it just wasn't any names in there. So to me, I just felt like, nah, like I didn't feel protected. I just felt like, damn, like, you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do feel you on that. And that's something that men definitely make a misstep on is like, but that's why I get made space for her still, right? And even though it was
Yeah.
much, much longer,
That's what I'm saying.
her feeling protected,
Yeah.
that's still important to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
once you to some degree, once you family of mine,
Mm-hmm.
you family of mine. And you know what? We not the type of family that speak every day,
Yeah.
but we are the type of family that if you needed help and it was critical, you could call me.
Got you.
You know what I mean? And that hasn't changed. Now we don't make sense intimately. We don't make sense. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We're not much friends platonically. We don't. I probably forget to tell you your birthday, but if you need something, like I'm always somebody you can call. So I wanted her to feel protected because it's like I'm not. Again, it feels bad when you're a good guy and
Yeah.
women look at you like you the bad guy.
Yeah.
So I needed to make space for her because I don't think you're a bad guy if you don't, but
Yeah.
you certainly are a good guy if you do.
Mm.
I just wanted to make that space for her. It's like, no, I ain't talking about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that was honorable of you. Because I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That meant that much time later. I'm not sure, but I think it sounds like you guys have that good rapport still.
Anybody that I broke up with, like I could talk to them on the phone today. We not, but
That's cool.
yeah, I've never crashed out and burned with anybody that I was in a
That's
relationship.
solid.
I never unfollowed nobody. I never blocked none of that. You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
gonna make that space for you. And then I understand women. There's so many conversations I haven't had on the pod yet. Like women are. Let me just start by saying all people are insecure, but women can be very insecure.
Yeah.
And so when your insecurity is being brought up in question, I have no intention of confusing you or like making that playing in the shadows with you when you accusing me of something that I'm really doing and I'm not gonna be honest about it. Like
Mm.
if your insecurity is in question, I'm gonna do my best to not coddle you,
Yeah.
but to like put that fire out, let you know, like, oh, it's good. Cause
Got you.
I know how hard it is being a woman, all the things that's going through a woman's mind. And there's gonna be some niggas that'll be like, this nigga's pandering again or some shit like that.
Mhm.
You can eat a dick, bro. At the end of the day, I really believe in like if you got questions, I got answers for you if I got them.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay.
Why not? Because you're wondering about if I'm talking bad about you type
Got
shit.
you.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then she later on was like, damn, like I got me thinking like, you know, did he really see me? It's like, what was it? Like, how do I really seem to him? How do I really come off? Like, am I worse than I think I am out here? It's like, no, you good.
Yeah.
We ain't make sense. And I
Yeah.
told her why, but yeah. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to create that safe space, and I always will, as long as it's respect.
I love that. I think that's dope. That's really that's fire.
I mean,
I
like, what
think
does it really cost you for real? You know what I mean? Like, what does it cost you? I don't got, like I said, if I move past, what am I holding on to still?
true. It's like who cares, right?
What am I holding on to?
Yeah. I guess I feel like even just me thinking about her position too, which I feel like it actually takes I think a lot of like courage and like kind of just her taking that step to even reach out to you and
Oh, she's an audacious person.
inquire. Because me, child, and I think there's more so my pride. I don't think my pride, even if I thought I was being talked about like years later,
Hmm.
my pride wouldn't even allow me to address it. Especially
Same.
like to me, it would just be
Same.
like,
I wouldn't say shit.
I would be like, so that's why I'm like, okay, so like, like, so I guess,
Yeah, I leave it in the air. I'll be like,
yeah, it
I
is
don't
what it
know.
is.
It is what it is.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, I do feel like, and now that I'm in the podcasting space
Hmm.
and I've matured a bit, right? Because now looking back at that scenario I was just telling you about, I felt a little bad like a few
How you
years
handled it?
with how I handled it because I was really walling him up, and we
Because he
and him,
was podding.
yeah, he was potting, and now I'm like, if somebody like if because I've talked about different people on the pod at different points, like I've brought up different scenarios. If they were to listen and get mad the way that I did and go off on me, I would be like, I'm kind of doing like
Hmm.
something that you don't really understand. So like
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
even know that I would have been as like maybe because he was actually he was apologetic, like he was just like, yo, like it wasn't my intention, stuff like that. I might just be like, I'm sorry you feel that way, but like nothing was
Yeah.
malicious. The same way he was responding. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't malicious. So I'm like, I think years later, and now in my mature brain, I realized, yeah, I was wilding. And I realized I was so like just not in tune. And so that's where I feel like, I don't know, it's tough. It's tough. But it's like definitely handling people's feelings and emotions with care is necessary. I think um it,
Yeah, it is.
yeah. And it sounds like you do that well though. Like to put out the fire, especially for women, I think is great. I'm like,
Yeah. I don't believe in like coddling women. I definitely believe they deserve to be told the whole truth, no matter how insane it is. But again, it's just like, why let that shit burn just because that's not entertainment to me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's not entertainment.
I also think women need to like some women, because I think there are some very confident women out here, right? There are women
Absolutely.
who are really insecure, and then there are some that are like
hmm
very confident. The ones that are insecure, right, for whatever those reasons are, because there's so many reasons why women can be insecure. I think women need to work on building up their self-esteem and self-confidence and not needing to get that reassurance all the time from a man. I really want to
Mm.
say that because I think like that's not your job. Like even
hmm
though you do that,
You're right.
take that responsibility
You're
on
right.
to put the fire out.
You're right.
That's not your job. And so I think even just, referencing the scenario where she reached out, I feel like
You're right.
I guess that's why when you said that, I was like, really? Because I don't know that you even owed her that.
You're
You get what I'm
right. No,
saying?
you're right.
But it's solid of you that you still did it anyway.
You're
And
right.
that's why my response, I think, initially was like, I wish somebody would call my phone
Yeah.
years later asking me about something that I said in my realm of work
Yeah.
that I do. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
For
Because
sure.
I feel like it sometimes can give off like, you can't let what you're dealing with within, like your insecurities or whatever,
hmm
make you kind of come off entitled, right? Which I think we talked about,
hmm
off camera about something else. But when people start to maybe kind of like come in your space, right? Or want to connect with you, to kind of like fix whatever it is that's going on within, it's like that's your job on
hmm
an independent individual level. But yes, if you have people that you're in connection with that can make that job easier for you,
Right.
that's also great. That's also beautiful.
Right.
But just for women, just in general, I feel like women got to work on that. Like
I agree.
somebody can't do that, and vice versa too. Because I think sometimes men can do that too, right?
hmm
And men could maybe want to get their egos stroked or
Right.
feel better about something, and so they use women or want women to be that, you know,
Yeah.
cushion.
For sure.
So it's
Yeah.
it's it's a hard conversation, but I think I think you're just solid for doing that.
Yeah. I just respect the fact that she asked. Like, I like having real nigga
Yeah.
conversations. Like, I'm really into that shit. Like when I just told you that I had a family member who called me and we talked about something that was heavy a second
Yeah.
ago. Like, he kept alluding to like, and I know he's gonna watch this, so you already know what it is, bro. But like, he kept alluding to like, I don't want to like come off like this or come off like that. I'm like, nah, say talk your shit,
Mm,
talk your shit. He was like, I don't want to like say what you have to say.
okay.
I honored the fact that she would even step out and put herself
Yeah.
in position. But you make a good point though. It's like I didn't have to do that though, and I
Yeah.
think I've been guilty of. I don't even know if I should accept blame for that, but just to finish off the point, I think I've been guilty of making a woman think it was okay to not take accountability for herself because
Mm,
she could come to me for some type of affirmation or validation or something when really it's like the right thing to do as a person is you should have checked that with you first.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You should have checked that with you first. So
Mhm.
I agree, man. And when it comes to just delusion, listen, the quicker you accept that truth, the quicker you're gonna get out of Delulu.
Listen, that's what I'm like. And just to that point too, I think that's fire, right? Like, ooh, yeah, like even like maybe even, and not to keep using your ex, because I don't want to keep using her.
No, you good. You
Because I'm just
good.
like, because with a scenario like that, right? Like, say you listen to just like content, right? And you're like, is this person talking about me? Like, what is it about what they're saying that makes you think this is about you, right? Because
Yeah.
even with social media, sometimes
hmm
people will see somebody post something and think it's like a subliminal or something,
It's
right?
entitlement.
Yeah, and it's like, what makes you think that? Because there's so many people out here that I could be talking about. Why do you think it's you?
And it's been 7 years.
And that's what I'm like.
And it's been 7 years.
Yeah,
You think I haven't brought in more people into my life that I could actually be talking about
yeah.
before you?
Or maybe she see that you lit and she want to get back in your she like, yo, his clips is all over the place. Maybe.
I was told that too.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that. They was like, I think this is really what that's about. I was
That's
like,
what I'm like. As I
I
keep
don't
going on
know.
and talking about it, because it's not adding up.
Yeah.
And I know how women's minds.
Yeah. I don't understand girl math all the time.
Girl math is,
Yeah.
yo, that's my ex and he lit. Let me use this as an opportunity to make it seem like I'm a damsel.
You think
and
so?
I need him to reaffirm me when really
I've always been naive when it came to shit like that. Always been. Like I've always been very naive to the ways that women go about putting themselves in position.
Yeah.
Because women are masters at putting themselves in position. I remember one time I was in college. I was at the subway on campus. I was walking with this girl.
Yeah.
And this girl that I was really rocking with at the time, we was at Subway and we was chilling by the fucking water fountains and shit like that. And there was like a bunch of straws and like utensils and shit in between the water fountain. So me and her, we talking just like me and you talking. And then this girl come through. She like, oh, excuse me. I just need to grab this real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, then she left, right? But the way I was talking to her, I'm talking to you.
Right.
Ain't peep it.
Right.
But then she wait till the girl get away. She can't hear it. And she's like, I hate when bitches do that. I'm like, do what? I'm like, do what? Because I'm really naive to the situation. I'm thinking like, she just got a utensil, not understanding that women put themselves in position to be seen. It's not necessarily that she did anything like that was offensive, but like, the woman that I was with, intuitively, she was like, this bitch trying to put herself in position to be seen.
Yeah.
To be seen.
Yeah.
Because sometimes all you got to do is get a look off and then it's like, yeah, the rest gonna happen.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't know.
So did she put herself in between y'all?
Yeah.
That's actually, I feel like that's disrespectful. That's not even, because imagine like you could have went around. You could have.
Yeah. Could have been like, excuse me, or something.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just disrespect in New York, but I feel like that's disrespect. You
yeah.
don't go in between a couple. She would have had to get addressed probably. Like on some like respectfully, miss, you could have went around. Like not even, it didn't have to get, chaotic.
But that's where it would have went though.
It would have had to get addressed because are you crazy?
Listen, I be naive and I'm still naive in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? Because I'm really like, I don't want to say I'm gullible, but I'm a nice guy and I just take shit on surface value with women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just be not even understanding like the reason why you met her. You think it's because it was by chance? No. She put herself in position.
Yeah.
Women are like master strategists and shit like that. Like I'm surprised I ain't never hear no stories about women winning wars and shit in the history books when I was in school. Because the way they would, shit,
maybe
come on.
I mean, if women could go to war, because back then, could women go to war?
What's the craziest shit you ever did to put yourself in position?
That's a good question. Have I? Let me see.
It's like, I need him to see me. You know, like maybe this is the right day, or I've been trying to do the other shit, he ain't picking up. It's like, okay, I'm about to do what I gotta do to be like, oh, hey, what you doing here type shit. Like, you ever did some shit like that?
You know what? I don't think so.
Like, he be coming down this hall. Like, I'm gonna make sure.
You know what? You saying hall made me think of like high school.
Of course.
I'm like, I wish I had something more recent.
Yeah, more recent?
Because high school for sure, I'm pretty sure like, all right, I see this person at this time, 8th period. I'm gonna make sure I'm there. You know?
Right.
Like, but I'm like, as an adult.
Yeah, we be chilling out the older we get. We be chilling out.
The older I be chilling. I feel like nowadays, it's like, I don't really do much. And the thing is I feel like I've become way more, because before I feel like my mentality on like dating and like was very different. It was probably more like patriarchal, where it's like, okay, the guy is supposed to feel me. But now I do not have no problem with being like, hey, you cute. What's up? Like, like I have no problem with doing that. So I may not even really put myself in a position. I might just be very forward.
You just go for it, yeah.
Forward and direct with it.
Okay.
And so it's either that or it's like a guy's approaching me, right? But it's like, I don't know, lately it's kind of just been, I've been chilling and they've kind of just been coming and I'm like, is this an answered prayer? Because literally there was a moment where I felt like I wasn't getting no, like, maybe not to say I wasn't getting any is crazy, because I don't think that's true, but I just wasn't getting the attention that I wanted from guys that I actually were interested in.
Oh man, that's another thing I'm a podcast about, right?
That's really what it was. It was just like, oh, you want to do what? You want to go on what? But now it's like, okay, like what? Like the I don't know if it's because it's it's getting cold, cuffing season around corner.
Mhm.
Somebody needs somebody to snuggle up with. But
Mhm.
the attention has been good lately. And
Mhm.
I'm like, maybe because, I've been working out a little bit. I've been trying to get
They peeping. They
get right.
peeping.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's a little extra glow or something. I don't know. I'll take it. But it's been
For
now.
sure.
I'm like now I've been cooling and it's kind of just been flowing. And it's like, and that's the thing too. I've been very like just like setting intentions about like meeting people like cold contact, right? Because I feel like now where like online dating is popular, people sliding in the DMs, that's cool, right? I've done online dating for a period of time. It's not really my thing, but I did it when it was like, all right, I'm bored and I kind of want
Mhm.
to go out. So like let me just,
Mhm.
but now I feel like I've been more intentional. I've been setting an intention of like I want to meet more people or just date more guys that are like just cold contact. Either I met through a friend
Mhm.
or maybe somebody that I just knew growing
Yeah.
up or
The
something.
old school way.
And it's been happening. And
Mhm.
I'm like, okay. Like something with the universe and me and my thoughts and
It's
intention
aligning. It's
is
coming
is, is
together.
aligned. And I'm like,
Mhm.
this is good. Maybe I'm gonna find my mate soon.
Yeah, for
that's
real.
that's how I've been feeling.
I mean, and that's putting yourself in position too. Just going outside and just being like
Yeah.
giving yourself a chance to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of women they be home or they be in places where they kept. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's like, yo, get your ass outside.
for sure.
You know, like because if online dating is not your thing,
Yeah.
then your only other solution
Go
is
outside.
go outside. You know, and nobody tell you got to be a headhunter like out here just like, but you gotta be able to be seen.
Yeah.
It's not going. I mean, almost everybody. A lot of people are plagued with thinking that it's just gonna happen in some magical kind of way because this is what the stories that the movies tell, and like maybe that will happen.
Yeah.
But for the majority of people out here, we
Mhm.
gotta be a little bit more intentional
Yeah.
about getting what we want in life. So
Mhm.
yeah, you definitely on your shit.
No, for sure. No, thank you for that. And I feel
Hmm.
like, yeah, I feel like I'll be outside. That's one thing I can say. All my friends would agree. They'd be like, girl, you don't skip a beat. You're outside all the time. And sometimes it's not even on purpose. Like, I definitely am big. I know Culture Con was this weekend. I really wanted to go. I didn't get to go because
Mm,
it was just too much going on this weekend. But just the past couple of weeks, there's been a lot going on. So I couldn't make that. But every opportunity, and it doesn't have to be like a party. Because I go to parties. I party. I go out with my friends. We turn up, we have fun, and there's always guys there. But I think that too is like, what kind of guys am I coming in contact with? Because at the club,
mhm,
there's a certain type of
mhm.
guy there.
For sure.
There's a certain type of guy there, and
For
maybe
sure.
there'll be like a needle in a haystack. There'll be a couple that aren't on crazy
Big
timing.
haystack. Big haystack.
That's what I'm like.
Really big.
But I'm like, I be trying to. I think I make it my intention to also like go places where I can connect with different kinds of people. Like
Mhm.
of course, being in the podcast space, anything like podcast networking related, I like to go places like that. And the thing is too, which a lot of people may not know about me, is I also like reading. Like I used to be a part of book clubs like heavy growing up. And then for probably like some time in college, I was going to this book club that they would do at Woodstack. I don't know if you're familiar with Woodstack. Um, is it Woodstock Ivy? They do. It's some space that they hold book
Mhm.
clubs, right? They'll have the whoever the author is come in, and then people will come in from like the community or
That's fire.
whatever and
That's
kind of
fire.
like discuss it, right? So like I used to do that for a period of time. I remember I was talking to one of my homegirls who she's been in a relationship now for like some time, and she was talking to me about that. She's like, "Well, where do you go out? Like, what kind of like the guy that you want to meet? Where do you want to meet him at?"
Mhm.
Right? So, and I was like, ever since she asked me that question, I was like, "That's solid." Like, you know what?
That's solid, man.
Every time I go to like the club or I go to a lounge or something, I'll be like, who is this guy that I'm really like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
communicating with?
Cause most guys, man, just being honest, like most guys, they trying to get laid, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They out in the club because it's like women are drunk, and certain women when they get drunk, they become a lot more open to things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So guy just really just he out there fishing, trying to see what he can catch a lot of the time. You know, he's not really there for a long time. He's just there for hopefully a good time. A lot of the time.
Yeah.
I've I've been a good guy in the club trying to find, but it's the same thing vice versa though for
Yeah.
men too. It's like trying to find something like really good in the club is again needle in a really big haystack. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of women, it was like I'm not looking for love. You know what I mean? Like a lot of women there for the same thing the guys is there for. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there's a lot of it's way more complicated than that too. But
Yep.
the club is not the. I don't even listen in the club. The reason why I hate the club is because I can't. My strong attribute is
Yeah.
conversation,
Yes.
and I can't fucking talk to you in the
You
club.
can't. It's so true. That's a fact. I think.
What's your name? You know what I mean?
Yo,
So what are you into? Like, it's too much.
it's so true. It's so true. And I think as I'm getting older too, I'm kind of coming off of the club era. I feel like I did a lot of that. Like from my early 20s. My
Mhm.
early 20s, I did a lot of it. And so I'm kind of coming off of it now. I think if I do step out somewhere clubbish, right? Or a lounge or something like that, it's really like somebody's birthday, it's an outing or something. Now it's not so much just to, all right, we're going to the club this weekend. Before it was like, yeah, we're going to the club just to go to the club. Now it's like, why are we going? Like there's so many other places
Why
we
are
could
we
go.
going? So many better things we
We
can
could
do. Like
do.
let's go to somebody's house. Let's make some food.
Yeah.
Let's prepare a meal or something like that. Like this, it's better things to do, man. Like I'd rather us like go rent a boat or some shit. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
let's take a trip somewhere beautiful nearby. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Let's get let's make a bonfire on the beach or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean? It's like this is
Mhm.
other things I'd rather do to spend my time than to be in a dark building
It's true.
where the drinks are extremely overpriced. There's no space. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? The floor's wet. You're wearing your good shit. And it's like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like it's better ways.
True.
It's
Very
better
true.
ways for sure when it comes to that.
Nah, for sure. Nah, but thank you for everything you shared so far. I feel like
Yeah, for sure.
I feel
Absolutely.
yeah. I'm like I want to make sure we good for time because
Let me check. Let me
yeah,
check real
what
quick.
we on? Because
Let me check.
I'm like I feel like so far our discussion has been good. We've touched on a few things that I wanted us to get into.
The next one is at 7. So we got some time
Okay.
for sure to cook. I don't
Okay.
know when they're gonna be downstairs, but we got time
We
though.
got time? All
We
right,
got
cool.
time for sure.
All right, cool. So you know what? I want us to switch gears a little bit, right? Because I do have this icebreaker for us. We didn't get into the icebreaker. Usually it happens in the beginning, right? Where we get into the icebreaker, but it's okay.
Mhm.
We
Well, can we not do it still?
we can still do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right? So also, I feel like I didn't do the mental health check-in with you, which that's always I want to do that with you first, right?
Mhm.
How you been feeling overall? Like it's October, right? It's probably early part of October now, first week.
Yeah.
This month and maybe like end of last month. How do you feel like you're feeling overall, mentally, emotionally, spiritually?
Um a mix of emotions.
Mm,
A mix of emotions. There's some things going on in my life that I would I would talk to you about off pod,
yeah.
you know, but a mix of emotions. Trying to find a place to stay right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has me a little anxious, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? I don't have a lot of time to figure out where I need to be. I got more than enough,
Yeah.
but for my standards, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
trying to save a lot of money in a city that's expensive and I have a insatiable thirst for wanting things at the same time and I need to control that, you know what I mean? And like have my discipline with my savings. And I've been doing pretty good, but my living situation has me slightly anxious, I gotta be honest with you. So I'm really inspired to like move out of my living situation and get somewhere else.
Yeah.
But just that has brought some anxiousness to me. And you know, lately, I've been overall, but there's a lot of greatness though too. Like I'm just talking about the shit that's been like challenging me. Like
Yeah.
definitely I'm looking for something new in my life right now. Like I don't want to come be in a building for 10 hours every day
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that anymore. You know, when I first came to New York, I really needed something to keep me here. And I was freelancing before.
Yeah.
And freelancing is really hard, and I managed to make it do what it needed to do. But then eventually I fell into where we are now. And this is like by every stretch of the imagination, like such a beautiful experience, such a beautiful opportunity to be in a black owned studio, to work with the people that I work with, to even
Mm-hmm.
be doing this right now. Like none of this would be possible if it wasn't for WTF, you know. But I work a lot of hours and nobody forcing me to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody, you know, but the way the business model is set up of this job, it's like you get paid per booking, not per hour. So if
Got
you
you.
really want to get that bread, you got to put that time in. And like I've grown accustomed to a certain amount of money that I would like to have every 2 weeks
Yeah.
that like fulfills what I need to tuck and what I can do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so I got to work a lot of hours to do that, but I miss so much, bro. I
Mhm.
miss so many things. Like I literally last year I missed a whole season change, and it's like I'm in Manhattan and shit, like right. So it's
Mhm.
like there ain't no fucking trees around this bitch. You know what I mean? Like maybe somewhere in Brooklyn or something,
Yeah.
but like around here, ain't no fucking trees in this bitch. And when you walking back and forth, it's like you don't really pay attention to, and just me just being focused on everything but the weather. It's like you don't understand that the season has changed. You feel it, but
Yeah.
you don't really understand it before you know it. Like damn, I missed the whole fucking like I could have, things
Mhm.
that happen outside, always things happen in New York City. I can't be a part of it. All these
Yeah.
different things, So
Mhm.
lately I've been a little anxious about wanting the next thing.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah. That's it. I've just been anxious about that. And I'm trying to like reel that in and realize that like it comes when it comes. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? In the meantime, stay focused. It ain't like I'm fucking mopping floors at Wendy's or no shit like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
In no way am I trying to make it seem like that. But I got to be honest about like I don't want to have to put in so much of my freedom for
Mhm.
money anymore,
Yeah.
because what I'm getting in exchange is you get money and you can do a lot of things with money. But what I'm missing though is like really important, like time to focus on my own shit, time to do nothing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Time to just travel around the world, go be somewhere else with my family or something like that. So
Mhm.
it's like that, my living arrangement and that has just brought me a little bit of anxiousness these days. But at this on the flip side, I'm sorry, I've stayed in this way longer than I planned to.
No, it's okay.
But on the flip side though, man, I'm really happy with everything that's going on with the podcast right now, man. I'm
Yeah.
really happy. I needed something in my life. You know
Love
what I
that.
mean? I really did. And when I realized that I wasn't gonna be doing music anymore, I was like, what am I going to do? Like I think every person, but like since I'm a man, I'm gonna speak for men. Men need to have purpose. We need to have functionality. Like, what do I do?
Mhm.
Who do I help? What is my bigger purpose than just being around here? And I was in limbo for a little while,
Mhm.
and that also didn't make me feel good about because I like working. I really do. I
Yeah.
love working. Like a lot of the time, if it comes to chilling, like I'm not the type of person that's gonna lay in bed all day. Like I'm gonna
Mm.
get up and be like, what can I do? What can I put my hands on? So
Mhm.
the podcast has really brought a lot of purpose to my
Love
life
that.
that makes me feel grounded and aligned again. And now I
Yeah.
feel like, because I'm a natural born hustler, like I like to dump all of my energy into one thing, but I didn't know what that thing was gonna be. So it just had me feeling like useless. I was like, bro, I just feel like a hammer that ain't hitting no nails. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And now it's like, oh, I got the nails now. Oh,
Mhm.
clips every day? Got it. Record every week? Got it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's making me feel real good. So I feel like I'm living in my purpose and it's resonating with people. That makes me feel good too. So
Mm.
yeah, that was a long ass fucking mental health check-in.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't mind the mental health check-ins being long because I think it's necessary, right? Because I think just to add on to what you were saying, I think people are constantly going, right? And taking that time to say like, how am I really feeling about all of these things that are happening
Hmm.
is good, right? I think because a lot of times I do think, and I think I mentioned this earlier, like I think avoidance can sometimes happen by accident, right? It just
Hmm.
feels better to not like actually sit down and
Hmm.
acknowledge why you've been feeling this, maybe like
Hmm.
aching feeling, or you've been
Hmm.
feeling this
Or
thing.
just like blah.
Yeah,
You don't
right?
even know why you just feel indifferent. You know what I mean? You just like
Exactly.
unenthusiastic about shit.
Yeah,
I don't want to not being in control. I don't like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What was the icebreaker though?
Let's get into it. Let's
Okay,
get
okay,
into it.
okay, okay, cool.
So, thank you for the mental health check-in.
Yes, for sure. Thank
And
you
so
for letting
yeah,
me share it.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. So I wanted us to so this is the and, right? Shout out to the and, we try and get sponsorship or whatever.
It's gonna happen too. Hey, make that happen.
Sponsorship, the and, right? This is the family edition, but I brought the family edition because I wanted us to talk about family. Um, but that's okay. We didn't get into it for real.
Hmm.
So we'll use it again another
Yeah, next
time.
episode
Yes,
for
part
sure.
two maybe.
Yeah.
Part two, maybe? Yeah. So, but yes, I thought there's some neutral questions on here too. Some questions more centered around family and how you feel about family.
Hmm.
So I was thinking we could use this one. And basically what we're gonna do is just each of us pick a card, we ask a question, and that'll help us to kind of like get into
Okay.
some family questions. So
So I just pick one.
yeah, just pick one. You could start.
All
and then I'll
right.
go
And I just
after.
read it
Yep, just read
right
it.
now.
Yep.
Who have you felt the closest to this year and why?
Hmm.
Who have you felt the closest to? I wanna pull another card.
All right, let's do a different one.
Yeah, I wanna
Yep.
pull another card. Let me
Yes, and you
just
do have that option to take a new
let me
card.
just tuck this one.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel safe?
You getting them deep. You getting these deep questions.
Yeah.
How you feel about this one?
I like this one.
Okay.
How do I feel safe? I feel safe when I feel safe now. I feel safe now that I have a direction of where I'm going with my life, kind of like I was saying before with the mental health check-in. Like
Yeah.
I feel safe when I feel like I know where I'm working towards.
Yep.
That makes me feel grounded. It makes me feel secure.
Mm-hmm.
When I didn't have that, I just kind of felt it was kind of given like a boat without a paddle, kind of. And even though that really wasn't the case,
Mhm.
um, you know, working here is great,
Yeah.
but it's not enough to it's not enough to like fulfill me.
Yeah.
At one point it was, but that point has long passed now. Now it's like I need to work on the thing that I'm gonna have equity in.
Love that.
You know what I mean? So that makes me feel safe knowing that I'm working toward the future that's most bright for me.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me feel safe.
Yep.
And in other aspects, feeling safe is I like when people take me serious. I try not to be too much of a serious person, but it's kind of natural to me, especially if you
Yeah.
ever meet my father. He's a very serious man. So like I like when people give me the time of day, just respect my mind, respect my thoughts, and listen to what I gotta say. Like because everybody doesn't do that.
Right.
So when it does happen,
Mm-hmm.
it makes me feel safe. It makes me feel like this is my type of person. Like they
Love that.
value my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
Love those answers.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. My
What you
turn.
got? What you got?
All right. Let me take one. I'll choose from this side. Let's see. When am I my best self?
That's a good one.
I like this one.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Okay, so I'm my best self when I sleep, like when I get a substantial amount.
Oh, facts.
It could be, I'm gonna say 8 hours.
Underrated right there.
Listen,
That's underrated.
that 7 to 9
Yeah.
hour window. If I get that, I'm golden. I also think I'm my best self when I'm exercising consistently. I feel like I'm in a space right now that I mentioned earlier. I think I'm glowing a little bit because I've been working out. All right.
Yeah, you in your rhythm, you in your routine.
I feel like I have a rhythm for real. Like it's
Mhm.
like, and even if it's just me going for like a brisk walk for 30 minutes,
Hey, the rhythm is rhythm.
it's rhythm, right? And so like my body just having more movement.
Yeah, exactly. More motion.
Yes.
For real.
Yeah. And so for me, 7 to 9 hours of sleep, working out. And I think also when I'm around people who just get me, that I don't have to like, because I don't think that I water myself down anymore. Or I don't feel like I don't think I do maybe some of those things that I used to do when I was younger, right? Like maybe like pull back a little bit or water myself down. But I think if I feel like I'm in a space around people that may not get me, I get a little quiet or I just don't show up as my full self. And so I feel like
Yeah.
I'm my best self when I'm around those safe people, like those people that I know understand me, get me, don't like question, you know, um my motives or intention behind things, like people who just get me. They kind of add, you know, add light to my life, right? So when I'm around the right people, I would say that too.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I can relate to that too. Like even still now, sometimes, I can be in scenarios where I just don't really feel like really just being. Sometimes like you can dim your light
Yeah.
in certain rooms around certain people based off of how you feel about the way they might feel about you or whatever the case is. But like when people make you feel comfortable and you feel safe, it's just nice to be somewhere you don't gotta try.
Right.
You can just be.
Just be.
That's really important.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I respect that and I understand that and agree with that like
Mhm.
wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
hmm
Yeah. No, thank you for that. I'm trying to think if we should pull one more card.
Let's do it, man. Fuck it.
Let's do one more.
Fuck it.
One more.
Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Describe when you feel most alive.
Mm.
Damn, that's tough. Um, I feel most alive when I'm connecting with people. Like
Hmm.
when somebody affirms to me
Yeah.
that something that I did or something that I said moved them
Mm.
or helped them or just helping people in general, like giving makes me feel alive.
Yeah.
Giving just to like enhance somebody's life some kind of way, no matter how big or how small, like that's a top tier feeling for me, for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To just to light somebody's shit up and be
I love that.
like this, I did this for you. And to
Hmm.
see it impact them and be like, wow, like
Yeah.
for me, it's like, yeah, for you.
Hmm.
That makes me feel amazing. Like it's top tier. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a top tier feeling.
I love that. I like that one.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was low key trying to, as you were talking, thinking if I have an answer for that one myself. I think for me, I guess to add to that, because I agree. I think also I feel most alive when I take like risks.
Hmm.
Like I think for some reason, like if something is like a little scary
Hmm.
or like produces some feelings of anxiety in me,
For sure.
but also like I'm excited, like the feeling of like excitement slash nervousness because it's maybe something new, it's a new challenge, it's a new project, you're embarking on something new. For me, I feel like that because that happens a lot for me. I feel like, or it's happened for me. It's happened a lot for me like lately, right? It definitely makes me feel alive. Because um all of these different feelings are happening at once.
Hmm.
Like I'm anxious, I'm nervous, I'm
Hmm.
excited, I'm thinking about all these
Nah, I get
things.
you for
You get
sure.
what I'm saying? So I think
Hmm.
that's just maybe more like there's a lot of physical things that are happening in that,
Hmm.
So I think that kind of was coming to me as you were sharing that.
That's what's up.
Mhm.
Pull you another one.
All right, one more. That's going to be the last one and then I guess we'll wrap up. Oh my gosh. Of course I got to get when was the last time you cried and why? You know
Mm.
what?
I feel like I need to cry more. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to cry more. For
Mm.
real. Like I don't, cause it just don't be no real reasons to cry for real. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it just be like, you need to let some shit out sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because like Mac talk about crying all the time.
He do.
And I just be like, I feel you, bro. Cause when you cried, that shit be like, I was carrying that shit.
You was.
Yeah. So not to answer your question for you, but
No,
yes.
I definitely want you. I want you to answer. I want you to answer for sure. I think as you were talking, I was just thinking, when is the last time I cried? Because I don't know. Actually, that's not
Yeah,
true.
I remember. What are we counting cry? Like, can a little tear come out count as crying?
I
Or
think.
was it just like full on like crying? Like,
Let me see. I think. mm, I think a little tear could count. I guess in this instance, or what do you think?
I think it
Should it count?
counts.
All right. So
It
let's.
count for me.
All right. So yeah, because you don't be crying. You know what? Let's do it.
Oh, because yeah, because I'll be crying.
Let's
So,
do it. Let's do that one. Let's do a little tear. For me, it was like last week because I was at a funeral.
mhm,
And the crazy part is I didn't even like cry. It was like because I was trying to hold the tears back
of course,
because I was with my mother and I was
of
trying to be
course,
strong for her.
of course,
So like a overwhelming feeling came over me
of course.
where I wanted to cry, but rather than it being like a bawl or a sob, it was just like some tears came out and
Yeah, it
I
came out how it came out.
quickly, yeah, just wiped them
Hmm.
away. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I think crying is crying. If tears come out, it's crying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's it's the last time is I'm smiling because the last time I let a tear off was connected to the last time I cried for real.
Really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
so anytime I talk about this, I gotta slow my pace because like I could feel it coming already for real. But
Really?
yeah, but like my uncle passed and I was at his funeral. And when he passed, I would say I'm starting to learn I process death very differently than a lot of people around me. You know what I mean? It doesn't really come with a lot of tears and shit, and I don't know why.
Mhm.
I really don't know. I don't know why, but at his funeral, there was this point where the choir was singing. It's always when the choir is
It's
singing.
always,
It's
always.
it's always when the choir is singing, and the choir was singing, and they were singing, and they were singing, and after a while, like man, the vocals was just like
There.
It was just there, man. You know what I mean? And it just the frequency, the vibration in the room just became so powerful, you know?
Yeah.
They were sending him away,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like they were singing and sending him home.
Yeah.
And the energy in the room was just so powerful. I didn't get teary-eyed before that.
Mm.
You know, went up to the body, seen the body, did all of that. But I cried not necessarily because I was in pain, but I cried because I realized how real God was. And I already knew, you know what I mean?
Mm.
I didn't need no reminder, but reminders are good for all of us.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, somebody love you, but when they remind you, they show you in different ways, it helps. And just to see so many people sing for the glory of God, because that's where he was going back to.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It was just like immense. Like it just came over me in a way where it was just like I could not hold it back anymore. You know what I mean? It was
Mm-hmm.
just such a powerful feeling of love, strong, powerful, strong love. And
Ooh.
that's when it dropped out. That's when it dropped out. You know what I mean? And it just made me feel good to understand that he was going back to a place where that type of love belonged. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then I was on a plane when a little tear came out.
Mm.
And I don't know why, man, but there's this one, this sound crazy, but there's this one Nas song that I be listening to. And this shit don't got nothing to do with loving people. It don't got nothing to do with like losing people.
Mm.
But the beat, the music,
Yeah.
I just be feeling my uncle for some reason. I don't know what it is,
Mm.
but I feel a similar feeling when I heard that choir, you know?
Yeah.
And I was on a plane getting ready to go to California, and I had to drop that tear. You know what I mean? I had to drop that tear because I felt it again. You know what I mean? It just I don't every time I listen to this song, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
The song is it's Reminisce by Nas off of King's Disease 3. It's a recent Nas song.
Mm.
And when it come on, I just like as soon as it come on, I just like, man, it does something to me. And it's I don't know how, but it's tied to my uncle some kind of
Yeah.
way. So that's the last time I dropped a little tear. And you know, I've been learning recently that like I don't really have a reason to cry, but I should drop them because niggas be carrying a lot.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it don't gotta be overtly obvious, like somebody died, this happened to you, this happened. Sometimes it's like, you know what? It's time to just drop some of the things you've been carrying.
Yeah.
Like I've been in relationships, I've learned that like I have the propensity to hold things and not share it.
Yeah.
And then you get to a place where you share it and then be like, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Like you feel lighter.
Yeah.
You were carrying like it it's not physical, right? But like the energy has density to it. You know what I mean? And you get it off and it's like, I can't believe I went 8 months having that on my body. You know what I mean? So niggas need to cry.
For sure.
Hmm.
For sure. Thank you so much for sharing that. I was like, that was powerful. That
Yeah.
was a good cry. To me, that sounds like a good
It
cry.
was a good cry.
Yeah.
It was a
Like it
good
was
cry.
rooted in something where it could have been rooted in sadness. You
Hmm.
found the light, like God
Hmm.
being the, you know.
That's that, man. I'm telling you, that's just what it was. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just I'm right now. I'm in that church right now. I swear to God, I'm in that church
Yeah.
right now, and I just was like, you know, it's like, man, like the human being, like the way they was singing,
It's
they were just singing, and he was just laying there in that casket, and it was like, yo, they love him.
mm-hmm.
Like they love this nigga. They really
Yeah.
love him, and they like making sure on his last day when everybody get to see him,
Yeah.
they sending him home the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, dog, that's heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy,
It's very heavy. I
heavy.
love that reference. And I know I could picture it. I see it because
You know
I
what I'm
feel
saying?
like I've seen it. I saw it last week at my grand aunt's funeral, and then another time I was thinking about the choir was the time before this the last week was I cried was at my one of my good friends' wedding,
Mm,
and she had a choir, a group of it was all of them were her friends, but
mhm,
they all could sing. So they
mm.
got together like a choir and they sang for her and her husband at the church for the wedding. And when I tell you I was sobbing,
Yeah,
I was like I
yeah,
was like
yeah.
And I was sitting next to my friend, my homegirl, shout out to
Yeah.
Erica. She was looking at me like, girl.
Yeah. Though
She was looking at me like, girl, get it
I
together.
can't.
And I could, I
I
literally,
can't.
it was uncontrollable.
Them vibrations, something about that shit, something about those frequency and those sounds, it will muscle that shit out of you. Cause you
Yes.
already near the edge for real. That's really what's going on. That's you already at the edge. It was
Yeah.
like, don't push me. Yeah, I'm at the
Yes,
edge.
I'm
And you
there.
came through and you pushed. It
Yeah.
didn't take much.
Yeah.
I just needed the right set of like numbers to unlock that.
Mhm.
It needed to come out though. But you strong.
Yeah.
You strong.
Mm-hmm.
You can't beat you from New York. You know what I mean? I'm from Texas. Like I'm strong. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I'm strong. I'm a man. I'm strong. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you a therapist, you strong. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's like sometimes it's like you being so strong, like you holding on to shit that need to be let down. You need to
Yeah.
put that down.
Yeah.
Especially you need to free up space to carry new things.
Mm-hmm.
I need new things to be carried. It might not look like it because you ain't get $100,000, you ain't get $1 million check, you ain't get no super promotion, you ain't going on vacation this week, you ain't getting a new house, you know what I mean? But there's always something good to carry, and it's hard to carry when you holding on to all the bad shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So these days I'm really trying to learn on the best place to cry? Shower.
Yes.
Shower.
Mm-hmm. Shout
Yeah.
out to Mac. That was the first person I ever heard say that they literally carve out their time
Yeah.
and be like, let their wife know, like, I'm gonna be in the shower
Yeah.
crying.
You know what I'm about to do.
I love that. So I love that. Finding whatever space that is for you. I think the shower is a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
But something else I was gonna say for men, just like a suggestion, right?
Mhm.
Because, and I think I actually got this from somebody who was a guest on a pod too, Kizzle from Express Yourself Black
Shout
Man.
out Kizzle, man. For
Yeah,
real.
that's the homie. He put an episode out, or there was a clip that he put out, or I'm trying to think if he talked about it on here, where he said sometimes he watches a sad movie
Mhm.
that can trigger
Evoke that feeling. Yeah.
tears, right? And it may not even be, he just knows like maybe he needs to like release some stuff, or he just needs to cry. And so he'll use whatever that scene is in the sad movie that can trigger tears. He'll use that to just allow him to just kind of cry for a little minute. And so yeah, I think that also to me was a good suggestion or good idea for men who kind of like are trying to maybe figure out creative ways to
Yeah.
release or cry, who maybe don't cry as often.
Hmm.
I would say that could also be a good thing.
Yeah, the movies never did it for me, but that music be getting it done though.
Yeah. See, there's so many
Mhm.
different ways. So
Yeah, that music will get it done.
mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
It really will. The movie, I never been a movie crying type of nigga, for real. It's never been my
Wolf
energy.
is like that's not gonna work.
Nah, I
for me,
never
but
like been looking at some shit and was like,
you never cried at a movie
never, ever, ever in my life.
or what about a TV show?
Never.
Yeah, I have.
Never. I've never cried over, I don't these days I find myself being much more in tune with things, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know, bro. It's like honestly, I would like why I would like to see it there. One of the many reasons I don't understand my relationship with I don't understand my relationship with death and shit like that, but like movies don't do it, death don't do it. It'd be weird. Like when I find out people gone, it don't hit me like that for real. I just be looking at it more so like I'm not gonna see them for a long time. I really look at it like that. It's just like I've always been the type of person. There's a lot of people that I could talk to more frequently, but I don't. But when I see them, it's love.
Yeah.
And I kind of look at that like with death a little bit. It's just kind of like my uncle, we wasn't talking every day, but I love him dearly though. He's a
Yeah.
huge part of my life. But you know what? I kind of just look at it like it was when you was living. It's like I went 6 months without talking to you. That's kind of the regular.
Mm.
And I don't really know what that's about, but I would like to see a therapist for that for sure, because they
Yeah.
can help me. Like
Explore that some more.
yeah, like I know when my mom has me and my sister, right?
Yeah.
And she had a third child, and the baby didn't live long. I don't really remember. It's further tucked into my youth, you know what I mean? But I remember the day that he passed. It was like we was at my grandma's house in the hood, and it was just like ambulance people all in the house, and just like something bad just happened, you
Yeah.
know? But I just remember like asking my aunt at the time, because I didn't, and I don't put this blame on me because I can't understand. I'm a child, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I just remember asking her, like, can I play the PlayStation? And I'll never forget the way she looked at me. She was like,
Mm.
can you play the PlayStation? I was a kid though, you know what I mean? So I didn't really understand the severity of it. But again, like I say that to say, there's always been some type of lack of sensitivity to death, and I have no idea what it's about.
Mm. Mhm.
I really don't. But one day I'll go to a therapist and
Yeah.
see what it is.
No, for sure, for sure. Because I think death is something that, or just grief, right? Like death, grief, loss,
Hmm.
people deal with in
In
different
different
ways,
ways. Yeah, that
right?
uncle shit hit me later though. Like it was definitely a day where I was in the shower. It was like, oh, here it is.
Yeah,
Here it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I think that's something worthy. How old were you at the time when that happened?
I don't remember it all. If I had to guess, um, had to be in elementary school or something. So I definitely wasn't a teenager. Maybe for some reason I want to say 7 or 8.
Okay.
For some reason I want to say 7 or 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's young. That's still young. I think 7, 8 around that age is a significant, just in the stages of development.
Hmm.
I think are significant just on like a psychological level. So I think it's definitely worthy of exploring when you do get ready, right, and
Hmm.
feel ready to go to therapy. I think that could be a good journey to go
Yeah.
to go through, because I don't know that necessarily there's something wrong, right? It
Hmm.
could just be maybe there's a disconnect somewhere, or it could just be like
Yeah.
that's the way that your brain processes it. Like maybe because it even sounds like maybe like just the way that you are or you describe like even your experience at that funeral, right?
Hmm.
Is that you didn't want to, like, you weren't able to maybe like connect with the sadness aspect of it,
Hmm.
but once you felt like the presence of God in that place,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And it was like a powerful magnetic feeling
Hmm.
that brought on tears, which were more, it sounds like tears of like, joy is not the word. I think it almost sounds like contentment. Like,
Hmm.
okay, he's getting a send off the right way.
Hmm.
God is here. Maybe even just trying to see the light
Hmm.
in like a dark, that for
Yeah.
most people would be a dark time.
Yeah.
You trying to find the light in it, maybe, because even and then referencing like that younger experience
Hmm.
with like asking about the PlayStation, right, in
Hmm.
the midst of like
Hmm.
a dark time.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah,
don't
for
I don't know.
sure.
It could be just like a defect, a defense mechanism,
Hmm.
or the way
Hmm.
that you are able to eat.
For sure. For sure.
Potentially. This is just I'm.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we
Mhm.
just talking. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That's why I would like to sit down with somebody one day so I could just like
Yeah.
further explore those
Yep.
things,
Yeah.
for sure.
And
But
you give them more context and everything so
yeah,
they'll know. But I think I appreciate you so much for sharing all that you did.
for
I
sure.
really think that this was great.
It was for sure, and I really appreciate you having me on the show
Mm-hmm.
and sharing your time and your space with me. I
Yeah.
don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
I don't take it lightly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very honored and I feel very privileged that you would share this
Yeah.
space with me.
No,
So
of course. I've been wanting you on, and I'm glad we were able to make it happen. And I feel like we went all over the place today,
we definitely did.
but it was still good. There was gems in here all
That's what a
throughout.
good podcast do though. You go all over the place. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you gotta touch a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And I guess let the people know anything you
I'll
have
be
coming up.
forgetting about this shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything you have coming up, anything you got going on.
So yeah, halfway up podcast. I don't have an Instagram page for the Halfway Up podcast. I don't know if I'm gonna make one. I just like the fact that it's all one place.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you can follow me at on Instagram at _Wolf Taylor. You can just put Wolf Taylor in there. I drop every week. Help me get these YouTube numbers up because I don't know why it's so hard to get long form content to do numbers. I have no idea,
Yeah.
but we're trying to crack the code on that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you could definitely come through and support me in that way and yeah, connect with me. I would prefer community over an audience. A lot of people gonna look and spectate. I want people to talk to me, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So please, like if you listening to this right now and you enjoyed this, first of all, support her platform. Let's do that first. And then when you're done with that, come over here and support me too. And then reach out to me. Tell me what you liked about the episode.
Yeah.
Just talk to me. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. And I'm going live on Instagram soon. I want to hear all the
Yes.
feedback. I want to hear all the constructive criticism. I'm gonna do that sometime soon. I wanted to do it at episode 10, and now we at 13. So I don't know. We still
Yeah, you
rocking.
rolling. You
Yeah, we
working.
rolling. Yeah, I
Working.
found a rhythm. You know what I mean? I'm just like, okay, like maybe it'll be episode 20. I'll go live. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah,
And we're gonna talk off camera about technical stuff, behind the scenes stuff
for
for
sure.
sure.
For sure.
Because I got questions, but
Thank
yeah, I love everything that you're doing.
you.
Thank you so much for coming on. Make sure y'all follow. Thank you guys for tuning in. Your Mental Matters podcast, guys. We're out.
We out. Peace.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next guy's downstairs.
Okay, I'm sorry. I this
No,
went
you
over
good.
time.
No, you good. You good.
Good. If we gonna do it the right way.
Yes. And who do you have coming? Is it